Hey, what's up guys? Welcome to episode 3 of Fallout New Vegas, Just the Good Parts. So we're doing the mission Come Fly With Me. This mission is quite frankly one of the best in the entire game. There are a lot of cool missions, and this is saying a lot when I say that this is the best. Or at least one of the best. As you can see, there's no vac over there. We're just basically heading up the hill to the Repcon Test Center. Now, Repcon were a military-based organization. They built rockets, basically. And Nipton relied on scavenging parts, scrap metal from this facility, but they couldn't because it got overrun with ghouls. Now, we've been sent here to simply clear out the ghouls, but we're going to get there and we're going to find out it's a lot more complicated than just that. So we're just going straight up, and here we go. Now, as we can see, we first come in contact with a glowing one. Now, these ones are significantly stronger, as well as they are capable of self-healing to some extent. They even give out a huge blast of radiation, which actually heals them as well. Now, they are more dangerous, obviously. They give off radiation, so it's best to take them out quick. But unfortunately, I can't do that because he's pretty far away. So I'm just going to go ahead. I'm going to take out his leg. Shit. Alright, I took a damage to my torso, but I seem to be relatively alright. Glowing one, bottle cap 4. So ghouls, they don't really have much on them because if you know anything about Fallout, you'll know that ghouls are, people who have been exposed to so much radiation it has horrifically mutated them. But they are essentially immortal. They don't seem to just give off of age. And in many cases, they usually just turn feral almost immediately. But some cases, which we're going to find out soon, they don't turn feral, at least not right away. They simply just stay the same way they were before, but horrifically mutated. And of course, they live, for all we know, forever. Many of these ghouls, probably even those ones there, date back to right before the bombs hit. Ash pile. Irregular club, which indicates that that is a super mutant. Well, a Nightkin, because that's kind of what the mission is there, is that the Nightkin have taken over. That is a bit of a spoiler, I know, but that indicates the ash pile, that weapon is only used by super mutants or Nightkin, which obviously that is the remains of a Nightkin that was eviscerated by some sort of energy weapon. And of course, there's a shit ton of energy cells here, so that's indicating that this was recently used by the last means of resistance. Now, there are some ghouls in here, good ones. It's possible, and they were hired by. They also hired mercenaries, which once again there is one mercenary inside. So that really indicates to me that this was sort of like the last stand. Thank you. Really good stash of weapons here. Now, the Nightkin are ridiculously strong, so they don't really use weapons. They are a melee-based enemy. They will come up. Basically, most of the creatures in this game are bloody melee-based ones. Now, we don't need any scrap metal. You see, this is the part of the game where you would actually get everything you need to repair Eddie. Like, you would find it here. The scrap metal, the sensor modules would be inside. You would find them here pretty easy, and then take them back to Eddie, and then have him repaired, and then bring him in, and hopefully you'd found enough. Sorry, I'm just trying to get a hold of these. Jet. Now, Jet is like the equivalent to like heroin or meth or any other addictive drug that you can really think of. Each one's like the equivalent to that. And even at one point during the stage of the game, they actually had the names for them, but they changed them because they didn't want it. They didn't want the game directly associated with heavy drug use, so they named it to Jet and all that sort of crap. Oh yeah, that's how good Boone is. That didn't even show up on my, radar really. And then Boone just took it out from a very far distance. Now Boone is a sniper. His weapons are, of course, sniper rifles. Therefore, he doesn't really look. Look at that. Look at that. Although he's not doing too good now, that I must say. That is how OP I am at the moment. Bobby pin, pre-war money. Obviously a female. I mean, yes, it is hard to tell, but usually if they're wearing a shirt, it indicates that it's a female because you can't see the boobies. So this is one of the regular ghouls, like the normal ghouls. Bright Brotherhood robe, drained. Oh, so he's got the laser pistol, so he would have taken out the Nightkin. They're not. These guys are basically very peaceful by nature, so they would have had to shoot at the last resort. There's a good chance that he's the one who actually shot the Nightkin that was down the road. So this facility is, by the way, absolutely massive. Repcon test facility. So it may seem a little redundant now, but we're going to get into it, and the storyline to this mission is really going to open up. Basically, there's a sort of, it's not really a cult, but a belief.
Are you listening? Go to the big room on the east side of this building and take the metal staircase all the way up. And hurry. Who I am doesn't matter, smooth skin. Stop wasting time and hurry. Like I said, find the metal staircase in the...
So we're going to go find him. This place is a maze, by the way, Nightkin. Now, so these guys just showed up, started shooting everyone and everything on sight, because these guys here were tracking down a shipment of stealth boys that were allegedly sent here, and which is true, they were sent here, but then you have to go find paperwork that says that they acknowledge that they were sent here by mistake and then sent to the correct facility, therefore they are not here anymore. Which is why they attacked in the first place. They weren't just trying to find a new place to live. Oh, fuck. Oh. Oh, his head done exploded. Bottle cap. The reason he would have bottle caps, meaning that would strongly indicate that he turned after the bombs hit. Now, here's another bright ghoul. As you can see, it just says dead ghoul, not dead feral ghoul or feral ghoul in general. So he is very much sentient, he is very much self-aware, he is no feral in any way. He was just a normal guy who got horrifically mutated and looks like that, but that's maybe a female? I don't know at this point. I've said before that this place is just a maze. It's just doors upon doors. We have to get to the far side of the room, but there's no direct access to there. We have to zigzag, go up, go down. Oh shit. Now I could stay here, I could keep just tracking down, little bits and pieces, and I can and will do that on my own time. But right now I'm going to head straight to the end of the facility. Which this is not the right way. It looks like we can go through this door. I said before, we have to zigzag there. There's no direct route. It's a processing floor of some kind. Roma. The Roma ones are more aggressive. Oh, nice. 8 caps. So if they got caps on them, that means they turned sometime after. Yes, I finally found it, I think. Yes, this is the place. We're coming through here, and we're just going to go up these stairs. So we found it. I've taken some limb damage. As you can see, my health seems to be fine, but I've taken limb damage, which makes it difficult to shoot. It makes it difficult to run, to carry things, and as well as defend myself in general. So we're just going to talk to over there.
Alright, Smoothskin. I'm letting you in. You better watch yourself.
I'm watching you.
God, but are you ugly. Get upstairs and talk to Jason before I throw up just from looking at you.
Hey, you're not a ghoul. Where can I find Jason? Now, this guy has believed that he is a ghoul. The ghouls have very raspy voices, and he's just believing that he is one. He grew up in a vault. He worked alongside with a nuclear reactor, and is convinced that after his hair started falling out, he turned it into a ghoul. But he isn't one. His hair just fell out because he was balding.
Your pranks won't work. Stop.
And they let him believe it too, because A, they want him, and B, they like him. They like having him around, they trust him. They think he's a sign as well, because they had a plan to go somewhere, and they needed to fix up some rockets, and they needed him. He is a brilliant scientist who has basically snapped.
Hey,
I don't speak with outsiders, smoothskins especially. Talk to our leader, Jason Bright.
So yeah, they have good reason to distrust any smooth skin, because they receive a lot of prejudice against everyone else. They are often abused and mistrusted and just overall hated, because at any point they can just turn and go feral, but that is very rare once they've reached this stage. And this is Jason Bright. Now, as far as we can tell, he's the only glowing ghoul who hasn't turned.
Hello, Wanderer. Please forgive us our humble surroundings. Our true home awaits us in the far beyond. Have you come to help us complete the great journey? I am Jason Bright, the prophet of the great journey. All the ghouls you see here are members of my flock.
These demons.
The demons appeared from nowhere. Except it might be more accurate to say they never actually appeared at all. The demons are invisible. Where one of them stands, the most one sees is the air shimmering, like sunlight on water. They set upon us as we were on our way to worship one morning. We had just entered the basement. My flock fought bravely and killed a few, but at such cost. Nearly half of us died or went missing. The rest of us retreated up here. One of the demons raved at us, but they have not tried to attack us since. Still, their demonic presence brought all progress towards the great journey to a standstill. But now you have come. Once again, the Creator has sent a human, to help us across a seemingly insurmountable obstacle.
Some of the demons raved at you, the great journey, the far beyond.
You're referring to Chris. We wish to escape the barbarity of the wasteland, especially the violence and bigotry of its human inhabitants. The Creator has promised to my flock a new land, a place of safety and healing, a paradise in the far beyond. Preparations for the great journey were nearly complete when the demons appeared. An auspicious name, don't you think? It was mine before I became as I am now, before the great warrior. Truly does the
Okay, we still got to talk to him to get the mission, but I'm basically going to summarize this for you. They were working to get to the great beyond, and to do that they needed to build these rockets that are down in the basement. They were working on that, then the Nightkin showed up and just started firing, killing everyone. So now they're basically trapped. Now they still believe that some are alive down there, and in case one is kind of is.
Will you help us, Wanderer?
Okay, so now I've said that I'll help you guys out, because if we can help these guys out, we will get rid of them. Now we could basically kill everyone and everything in this room, everything down there as well. End of the mission, blah blah blah, go home, go be a champion, but we'll get bad karma. These are good people. Let's see if they'll talk to us.
I don't speak with outsiders.
So once we actually help Bright, I'm pretty sure that these people who say I don't talk to outsiders, shit like that, they will start to say nice things. But now he says we've got to get into the basement. That is where the Nightkin headed. And he also said that they've lost a great deal of their numbers. In fact, they lost nearly half. Another utility closet. Yeah, so this is where you would go to find all the pieces to fix up Eddie. Finding a sensor module is a pain in the ass. They are expensive as well. So at least I'm saying now that most people would either push past this mission because their health would be too low, and they would simply just die by, being outrun. At least not now, but when we get into the basement, we start fighting Nightkin, and then we've got to keep repeatedly fighting them. I'm actually quite shocked at myself for being able to convince Boone and Eddie both at the same time to convince me. Usually I would have maybe one. That was it, but I have two. This is the owners or the head bosses. Locked. So I can't get in there. To go this way, this way, this way. And the room that we need to get into is blocked. That's why I'm saying that we have to zigzag a lot. There's no direct route to get where we need to be. We can't go that way. We can access that. We can access the terminals, and it will tell us, welcome to Rolco Public Kitchen. We can find the right information terminal, which will tell us that they received a shipment of stealth boys that weren't supposed to arrive. In fact, they had nothing to do with stealth boys. It was a failure of some. It was a mistake of some kind. Then they just simply send them off. They simply sent them to the right facility, which means they're not here anymore. So they're not kin. Okay, wherever we need to go, it's below us. Dead ghoul, another bright member. Here we go, found it. I forgot. Where we need to go doesn't tell us where the door is, it just tells us that it's down somewhere. Ah, motherfucker. This is not the right place. The closed doors indicate places where I haven't been. I think that leads outside. Yeah, that leads outside. And I'm not even sure we can get back in if we went through that door, so there's no real point going in there. Not a good idea. Another ghoul, and he's empty, which means that I have been through here. Also been through here. I do apologize. Because I can check the map, but, you know, some places are just simply boarded up and blocked off. Oh, can we take that? I really want to take that desk thing there, that little ukulele girl, Hawaiian dancer. That's it. Oh, hello. Ash pile. Yes, maybe. Motherfucker. You know what? I'm going to feel ridiculous if it's... Yep, it's just right fucking there. Oh, man. Like, it's right there. Ding, ding, ding. That's where Boone and Eddie came from. Use key. Good. Moving down. So the funny thing is that I should also mention, with the little characters here, our companions, a lot of them have side stories, especially Boone. Basically, we can get some more information out from him, and we can learn more. We can, you know, get some missions from him as well. Basically, nearly all of them have this sort of side mission thing, but you can't really unlock it right away. You have to experience with them. You have to go where they want to go, and it sort of like unlocks parts of them. Now, with Boone going to places, dangerous places, things like that, especially here, he will start to open up. He will start to trust us, and that he'll tell us the story about his wife. Right after we help him fight back a big group of legionaries, he'll say, "Oh, this is where I was stationed, where it all went down." Blah blah blah. Holy crap! There's some torso. Fire. So basically, I'm just overkill at this point. I mean, it's just stealth boy. Now, the stealth boys I rarely use. I'm not much of a sneaky kind of person. There's another one down there. Okay, I'm not going to go down there just yet. I'm going to go here first. Now, if I went through that other door, that's basically where you meet the head honcho, and you got to convince him to leave and shit. But right now, I'm just going to do this. Now, you'll notice that there's a dead nightkin in front of this door. Watch what happens.
Come and get it, you big dumb. Hey, you're not one of those things out there. Who the hell are you? And I bet he told you it's the Creator's will for you to risk your ass instead of him, right? Well, good luck with that. I'd give you a hand, but no thanks. I may look like a corpse, but I'm partial to living. First off, I'm not trapped. This was a tactical choice, alright? I'm no match for those things out there. So I found a good defensive position, and I've been defending it, right? Oh, who am I fooling? I'm trapped. Name's Harlan. Pleased to meet you. What happened was, I was escorting folks down to work when those things attacked us. Most of the fight was upstairs, but some folks panicked and made for the basement, and I went after them. Well, turns out there were even more of those bastards down here than upstairs, and things went to shit fast. I couldn't find the others, so I fell back to this room, set up a nice little kill zone. End of story. Guess the outfit gives that away, huh? I never did buy into that religious mumbo-jumbo with the robes and all that shit. It gets lonely out in the wastes, okay? And I don't have to tell you, that Bright's group has got some fine-looking goulettes in it. Or maybe I would have to tell you. Anyway, I helped them out, and they kept me supplied with ammo and pleasant company.
Looks like I have a way to kill you. Looks like how have you survived? How can I help you get out of this room?
Well, you're polite. I'll give you that. If this was just between you and me, I'd do as you ask. But it's not. I had a friend with me when those mutant bastards came out of nowheres. She panicked and ran the wrong direction. She's probably dead. But I'm not delicate. Rad roach meat for protein. Condensation off the pipes for water. And I do my business over in the far corner. I wouldn't say it's been comfy.
So basically we have to get to this other side of the room to receive a document. Hang on, watch this. Yeah, scratch that what I said about before. We can go into this other room to talk to him.
What's that, Antler? We have a visitor. An assassin, more like. I say kill it, Antler. Hmm? Okay, Antler. I'll ask. Hi, human. Why you come here?
So Antler, that he's referring to that skull on his desk, basically. He's been carrying around and talking to it as if it's a sentient person. Are you alright? You sound so... Who is Antler? I've come on behalf of the ghouls upstairs.
A human who is friend to ghouls? Suspicious. You mean the ones upstairs? Antler used intercom, told them stay put, but they want to come down in basement anyways. I cannot allow. My kin are not right in head like I am. They attack you on sight. Ghouls too. They crazy. Your ghoul friends have to wait until you find what Antler brought us to get.
Okay, so, maybe it looks like I'm going to have to kill you. Maybe I can help. So if we can just kill him, that's bad karma, because although he's so fucked up, there is, like, reason behind his method.
brought us here for a reason. Why was that, Antler? Right, a piece of paper. Shipment invoice. Hundreds of stealth boys sent here a long time ago. But stealth boys must be in the one room. One we don't. Yes, Antler.
Okay, so he won't leave until we find the stealth boys. Now, the actual shipment into the actual, like...
What do you want now, Smoothskin?
Actually, I want to hear about it. His friend.
What do you want now, Smoothskin?
Tell me about your friend. I'll try to find your friend.
Thanks.
Optional. Find Harlan's friend who has been imprisoned by the Nightkin. So, yeah, she was taken prisoner by the Nightkin. She wasn't killed like the others. She was taken prisoner. But the other Nightkin are still very feral and very crazy. Now, we could, basically, what we have to do is we have to get to a computer terminal that would tell us whether or not the stealth boys have been shipped away. Now, that terminal is behind that ghoul up here that we need to get to, but he won't let us pass until we walk away, because if we go through, that's showing a huge vulnerable spot, so we can't. He won't actually get down until it's time to go. These Nightkin, they don't really have means for currency. They don't carry any valuables. So I believe the sensor module would actually be in this room here. Therefore, you would be able to return. You could return up and reactivate Eddie. Now, if you are playing this game and you haven't done that, go do it now. Basically, reactivate Eddie as soon as you can. But however, he is ridiculously strong as well, so it may change the game in a way that you don't want it to. So what I meant by that was that Eddie might be a little bit too OP, and you basically might get a little bored basically eviscerating anyone or anything in front of you. Now we're going to go find that guy's girlfriend. That basically it was a girl that he really did like. Now they weren't in a relationship, but they were probably flirting, teasing, things like that. We're just going to go and find her now. She was imprisoned. She was taken and imprisoned by a jailer who is over there. And I didn't even get to fucking kill him. I didn't even get to kill him. Now, many people who want a challenge know that fighting him at a very low level without your companions is a very difficult procedure, to say the least. I mean, this guy is ridiculously strong and will dominate anyone or anything. So, Incinerator, this is a good weapon. Fuck, I'm nearly got too much. Basically, she's in one of these rooms down here. Now, I'm not too sure what his initial plan was in regards to imprisoning her. I've never really heard of super mutants really doing that, except for in the case of number 4. They're not smart enough to like ransom her off. Perhaps they wanted to eat her. I mean, we know they're very cannibalistic, so yeah, that was probably the case. They just wanted to hold her back to eat her. Now, we couldn't get through this door without the key, so many people I've seen on YouTube who do this level, they go off and they sneak, and they steal the key. So she is just down here. Now, as you can see, the doors themselves aren't locked, so they could just roam around in this area. And she should be... Oh, she's in one of these. A lot of spare parts for Eddie. Oh, she might be in this one. The only lock... it's not locked, it's just closed. What the hell is she? She's got to be in. She has to be in this one. Nope. Shit. Oh. Okay, yeah, the only locked one. Okay, locked, use key. So I guess scratch what I said about she could roam around freely. She could not. But all these doors are unlocked, so therefore she'd probably be able to wander around in this room. And here she is here, I'm afraid. Yeah, yeah. I knew that. I didn't want to give away any spoilers, but yeah, she did not make it. I'm picking her up and trying to be respectful in this matter. Hang on, I'll try and pick her up by her head. I don't want that. I'd even forgotten about picking things up. Okay, there she is there. That's about as best as... Okay, fuck it. As you can see, she does seem somewhat prettier than the other ghouls. Her skin is a lot more paler and smoother compared to the other ghouls anyway, so she does seem a little prettier. But this is basically doing this the nicest way possible. We're going to go get back, talk to Harold, I think his name is. Tell him that, yeah, unfortunately she is dead. So now he knows he will just simply walk out. And then we can walk up behind him, retrieve the data from the terminal, and then show Antler, or at least that crazy dude who's talking to Antler. Then they will decide that, okay, now we have the new coordinates to where the stealth boys are, we shall leave. Food. That's pretty simple. We go this way. Nope. That is the utility closet again. I'm all turned around again. I do apologize for this. I also apologize if there's a slight ringing. Of course, I do know that there is a slight ringing or buzzing. That's basically the microphone. These cheap recorders, they have a habit of burning out the microphones. And I simply don't have any more. There's no real place in my town to get these from. I have to order them from Hong Kong, which does take a while, at least a few weeks to record it. I did order a really good one this time, which should, in theory, last a bit longer than my previous ones.
Did you find my friend?
Yes, unfortunately.
I see. Well, spare me the details. Damn it. I'm gonna miss that crooked yellow smile. Alright. You did your part, so I'll do mine. Look around up here if you want. I'm gonna make a break for topside.
There's also a bunch of traps here, you know, explosives set as well. He didn't want anyone getting in. Goodbye, Harold. We won't see or hear from him for the rest of the game. That's it. He's gone. I would like to actually run into him. It would be pretty cool if we did get to run into him. Oh man, I triggered one of his traps. I'm just going to go ahead and finally take a aid. I'm going to go ahead and finally take a stem pack and a sarsaparilla. There we go. Now, I don't know what the odds are for finding one star sarsaparilla cap. Probably 1 out of 50 or 25. I don't know. Shipment mistake. Shipment sent back. So this is basically the... Oh, damn it. Stamp pack and sunset. 1, 2. Okay, that should be enough. So this is the best way to do it. This is the best way for good karma, anyway, to do this. Hey there, Davison. Hey. What the fuck? What the fuck? What the fuck? I just walked up to him. Was I... What the fuck? I just said hello. I don't know what happened. Bumper sword. This is quite strong, the bumper sword. Also weighs a shit ton as well. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to give it to Eddie. I don't know what the fuck happened there. I really don't. I got in there, he was invisible. I went straight up and talked to him. I don't know what happened. Maybe I snuck up to him. I think it may have glitched out, but that's not what was supposed to happen. I was just supposed to walk straight up to him, say, hey Davison, I found the shipping reports, blah blah blah. They were here, they got sent away, and then he would leave. That was the end of it. That's how it should have gone down. I don't know what happened. I really don't. So this mission is by far not over yet. So here's something else that, which is kind of funny that happened to me. Basically, when I finished doing the first episode of this game, I was doing some grinding. Basically, I had to switch from the HDMI port to the AV port, and I had picked up the console without turning it off, and I had moved it too much, and the console scratched the disc. And then I went down to EB Games to track down another one, and guess what? They didn't have it. They didn't have it in storage. No one in the area that they could order it from also had this game. In fact, this game is kind of pain in the ass to track down, at least the Game of the Year edition. But that's all I needed, was just a normal copy, because I already had the bonus disc. So all I did was order one off eBay, which cost $9, which was pretty good. Bright.
Is the way clear?
The demons are gone.
Praise the Creator, and bless you, Wanderer. The way is clear. I will lead my flock through the basement to the sacred site. I hope you will come find us there, Wanderer. There is much to be done.
So we're all going to the basement now. It's a good idea to simply follow right behind them. Pretty sure all this stuff up here is free for the taking once they leave. Now, in theory, when we get down to the basement and we see everyone, they should be more friendly. I honestly can't remember if they're how friendly they are. So it's a good idea to follow right behind these guys. That one looks female, I think. They're going to reveal a secret passage. This is why people ran to the basement, because they knew that there was a secret passage and they could survive, but unfortunately none of them made it there alive.
Not now, smooth skin.
Oh, they're still kind of dicks to me. I believe it was not down there, down here, right behind Antler's door. Fucking Antler. So this one here. Pretty sure this was locked before the thing. So this wasn't really a secret room. This was just here. You can actually do this. Check this out. Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and take another Sunset Sarsaparilla and a stem pack. There we are. I'm no longer crippled. So this mission is nearly over to some extent, depending on what you choose. Now, if you're going to be good, then this mission is going to go over pretty smoothly, I must say. There's all these like reloading benches and cocktails you can make, you know, for camping and shit like that. You go out, you find the ingredients. I never bothered with that because if you're in easy mode, which I am, it's pretty, or there's normal mode and there's hardcore mode. Hardcore mode, you have to learn all that thing because using stem packs, using anything is a lot more difficult.
I waited to speak with you one last time before I descended to the launch pad, Wanderer. I want you to know that we will remember for all eternity how you delivered us to the threshold of the great journey. Our preparations are nearly complete. But the rockets that will carry us to salvation are yet missing vital components. If you would still help us, Wanderer, speak to Chris. He can tell you what is missing. There is no way that we can thank you enough, Wanderer. Your arrival here was a blessing. We will remember you always.
Are you seriously going to make for the great journey in these rockets?
Yes. The rockets will convey us to our promised land in the far beyond. Vision upon vision has confirmed it.
These rockets will convoy you and your flock straight into the ground. What's at the far beyond? Let's talk about Chris.
After all that you have done for us, when Chris came to us, we tried to convince him that he was human. But this only angered him. He seemed lost. We decided to let him stay with us for a few days, over the course of which we learned that his technical skills far surpassed our own. It became clear that the Creator had sent him to us to ensure the success of the great journey. Equally clear was that Chris should labor in blessed ignorance of his humanity and his inability to make the journey himself. It is no coincidence that two humans have been vital to the success of the great journey. It is my belief that the Creator sent you and Chris to expiate the sins of your kind against mine. You are redeemers both.
Okay guys, I was mucking around with the USB on my TV and I knocked it out. Just hold on a second. I'm just staring at a blank screen here. What the fuck? You guys can see this, I can't. Oh no, it's HDMI, shit. And I just got to hit the right button. Not that one. Not that one. There we are. Sorry about that, guys. These rockets. Are you going to leave?
Such as the creator's will.
Basically, where they're going is so... Oh, that's none of my business. Basically, where they're going is so radioactive that only a ghoul can survive, which means Chris, who thinks he's a ghoul, will not be able to survive, so they're just going to leave him here. But we've been asked to speak to him in order to help fix up these kick-ass rockets.
Jason says that I am to cooperate with you on the final tasks necessary to launch.
What will you do here?
I was close to completing work on the rocket. 2 components were missing. A quantity of isotope 239 igniting agent and a set of thrust control module. The igniting agent is highly radioactive and decays quickly. That's why we can't use the drums that leak down on the launch pad. It's no longer potent enough. I need you to find it in. As for the thrust control modules, they were custom built. I'm the Flock's resident engineer. I've always been good with machines. Jason says the great journey would have been impossible without... Of course, my skills aren't much use unless I have the right materials.
So the radioactive isotope, I think you can find it in one of 2 places. You can go and buy out all those souvenir rockets at the Dinobite place.
Now that the demons are gone, we can finally begin our final steps.
That's a little nicer.
Thank you for taking care of the demons, Smooth Skin.
So where we're going? Oh yeah, I was saying you could go to the Dinobite, purchase a few, I don't know how many you need, but at least a few of those rockets. There's a hatch here. There's like a hatch around here, which is a huge shortcut to getting the fuck out. Oh man, did I go past it? I think I went past it like a fucking idiot. Anyway, yeah, you can go buy all those rockets, use them, or you could find another canister of the igniting agent, which is some toxic waste dump. Not too far away. I think I'll just go buy those rockets. No, I'll go to the I will go to the toxic dump because I want to show you guys here. Here it is. Here I went straight past it. I'll take you guys to the toxic dump to find that radioactive isotope igniting agent. Basically, there was this guy who thought there was a lot of scavenging there because it was so radioactive. Very few people would have gone there and survived. Well, that is very much true. He went ahead and purchased himself a very expensive radioactive suit, at which he going to go here, at which he put on and was able to survive there for who knows how long. But he was so cocky that he thought he could drink some of the radioactive fluid and he wouldn't get sick. in like to test out his radioactive suit, but he didn't realize that that's not how they work because he was a fucking idiot. And of course he died. But in his hand clutched a spear or an orb about the size of a baseball, which in that contains the radioactive isotope. Now, where exactly is it sending us? Find atomic fuel for rockets. Okay, so this is definitely the radioactive dump. The other place where you find those thrust control modules, that's Gibson, Old Lady Gibson's scrapyard. I believe there's geckos around here. Geckos, geckos, geckos. But as I said before, if you were getting dominated by geckos and you were just getting frustrated, just go straight on down to the Dinobite, purchase all those retro rockets they have on sale, and then yeah, you get it. But you need a fair few of them, you can't buy one. This is the guy here. Cap, radioactive isotope, Mr. Radical's journal, a police baton, and radiation suit. I'm going to take the radiation suit. They're really good to have. So we're going to read his, go ahead and read his Mr. Radical's journal. Day 1, I love the suit. I can survive anywhere now. Screw the rads. I hereby christen myself Mr. Radical. Get it? Ha. Day 4, the suit passed test with flying yellow colors. Overnight visit to Yucca Mountain. Didn't go too deep because something were big moving around there further down the tunnel. Red level high even where I was, and I didn't feel a tickle. Go rad suit go. Day 5, vomited all morning, didn't splash on the suit or I'd pass out. Must be something I ate. Vomited all morning, didn't splash on suit or I'd be pissed. Exciting. Ran across old woman's scrapyard. Brought glowing container for measly 50 caps. Heading to Clockfield now to prove the suit at higher rad levels. If it holds up, I'm going to pop this can of goop open and pour it all over me. I bet I could swim in this stuff if I had enough of it. Oh yeah. Now I'm kind of confused. How did he... Maybe he just simply died by the geckos. Unfortunately, it doesn't tell us. No, he was vomiting. I think this is a radiation suit, but it's not the best one, and he mistakenly pushed it too far and thus died because he said, yeah, he was vomiting. Okay, sweet. I'm leveled up to level 7. What are we going to go? We're going to go ahead. I'm going to go with lock because lockpick seems to be something I'm struggling with. 5. Guns would be better. Bit of barter. Done. Next time I'll upgrade the lock to at least 50. Then I will go ahead and add a little bit of science in as well. It's always good to keep upgrading your science from time to time, because I know that you don't need it now, but at some point in the near future you will need it, and you will need a lot of it. So just keep that in mind, that at some point you will have to have it, and you will get stuck if you don't level it up fast enough. Now unfortunately you cannot go back down the pipe you went through. At least I don't think you can. Rep NN. I'm looking for that hatch, by the way. I'm not like randomly looking around. Oh, maybe we can go back down there because it's telling us to go over here. Now, if it was the only way, then we would have to go through the door, but it's telling us to go over here. I think I see where we need to go. That's a pretty cool rocket at the front of the facility. I do like that. Here we go, found the hatch. Hopefully we can go. Yes, yes we can. I was under the influence that we could not go back through that hatch, but it turns out we very much can. So we're going to go ahead and talk to him.
Have you found the component?
Now I know exactly where to go. That's why I didn't stay and ask. We're going to the Gibson scrapyard. I should say Old Lady Gibson scrapyard. Sweet old lady, lot of dogs, lot of German shepherds actually, and she's got the control modules that we require. And then that will pretty much be the end of the episode after the final cutscene, which once again, this cutscene, there aren't many cutscenes in a game like this. They're not really even cutscenes, they're just small little clips that you can't really interact. It's just, you see the NPCs interacting, but, you know, it's just, they're not really traditional cutscenes. They're not animated in any way. Okay, Novak. There it is there, which really isn't that far away. Just down the road. Now she's a sweet old lady, and just like it's kind of hard to believe that she's just sweet, but she really is just a sweet old lady. You'd think there was some sort of hidden agenda or anything like that, although she can be quite aggressive if you try to pull anything, like take out the dogs. What the hell is she sitting on? Kind of looks like the Nike symbol.
Hi there. I'm Old Lady Gibson, or so they tell me. I've got odds and ends for sale, and you might have noticed the very large...
Do you have thrust control modules from the Repcon in stock?
As it so happens, I do have some thrust modules, but they're expensive. 500 caps worth of expensive.
Speech. So this is why you had to upgrade your barter or speech. But you're going to cut the price to $250 because I'm just that charming, right?
Yes, you are.
Here you go.
Pleasure.
I didn't even know I had 250 caps.
Diagnosis complete. Begin recording. My name is Whitley. I'm a researcher at Adams Air Force Base. Until recently, I was in charge of the Duraframe reinforcement project for the combat model iBots. iBot Duraframe Subject E is both the prototype and the last functional model in this test group. I was prepared to make several significant upgrades to the machines. However, as the project was canceled and all Duraframe assets are being diverted to Hellfire armor, I am sending this model to the Navarro outpost. If you're listening to this log from one of our Enclave outposts in Chicago, give this unit whatever repairs it needs so it can continue to Navarro.
So the Enclave, obviously created by then. The Enclave were the remnants of the American government after the nuclear apocalypse happened. However, they were deeply involved with the the vault technology as well. They were really into it in regards to sort of fucking with people. They were not the good guys. To some extent. In many cases they were, but in many cases they were not. Okay, so we're just going to head straight down there. Now, if you were a male, and you had the lady killer perk, you could basically convince her to just simply give you them. Because, like, who else is going to purchase that particular item? So this will be the end of the episode, shortly, I should say. Shortly. I'm going to give him the thrust control modules, he's going to install them, and then the guys are going to, then the cutscene's sort of going to engage. So that's going to be pretty sweet. Now, but after Jace, there is a dark side that I didn't actually get into. Basically, if you piss him off, like if you tell him he's not a ghoul and they're going to leave without him, and then he'll realize that you're going to leave without him, he will want to sabotage the rockets. And that means putting sugar bomb cereal into the rocket's ignition system and they will self-destruct. I don't think that's happened yet. You could rig them to simply blow up as soon as they're ready to take off, or even before they even take off. You could get them to explode after they're taken off, or you could simply do everything right, be the good person you are.
Now that the demons are gone, we can finally begin our final steps.
Have you found the components? Yes. We have everything we need to launch the rocket, Jason. The great journey can begin. Hey.
Gather all. May the Creator guide my words and help me speak true. The Almighty Creator has seen fit to answer our prayers. The time has come for us to board the rockets and begin the great journey. Though it may seem that all humans despise us, the Creator has seen fit to instruct us differently. The journey ahead would have been impossible if not for the intercession of two human friends. One new, the other a long, abiding companion. To our Evening. We say thanks and promise never to forget how we cleared from our path the demons who sought to stay our journey. But to Chris,
Evening.
we owe more than thanks. Chris, you have made this great journey a reality.
Hello.
From this moment forward, you will remember
He's glitching out.
the fate of the great journey. We shall never forget you. I ask that you forgive us, Chris, and give us your blessing, and we bestow ours upon you. Seekers, board the rockets. Take your seats. The great journey awaits. To the promised land we go. To the far beyond.
Hey. Evening.
So they're just going to start loading it into the rockets. That's the end of that little cutscene there, but then another one will begin where we have to just make it to the viewing platform, which I believe is back up those staircases. Now we could have convinced Chris to sabotage the rockets because they kind of used him, but if you've spoken to Bright, they did try to tell him that he was human, but overall they thought after a while, after many failed attempts to convince him that he was indeed human, they now believe him to be somewhat sent by the great beyond or whatever it is. And believe me, they would take him if they were. It wasn't the fact that he's human, it's the fact that humans can't deal with the radiation. That's why he can't go. Here we go. Pressing forward now. Just going in. This way. Well, I think we have the honors of detonating the rockets, or activating the rockets thrust components. We get to push a big red button, is what I'm trying to say. And although I have played this game a few times, it's still kind of harder than ever, because this game is just simply so big. Okay, we launch them. So I can't get out of this, like, yeah. One sort of malfunctioned a bit, but it seemed to be self-correcting. So yeah. Come fly with me. Now we're going to go talk to Chris. Who should be around here somewhere. He's very disappointed as to what just happened. What the hell is he? Oh, he should have been there. It's probably because I didn't talk to him right after the rockets launched. I didn't go up to him and talk to him, which I should have done. So now I'm going to have to go back down here and, well, talk to him. This is a completely optional thing. It doesn't really matter, but I'm just doing it for the extra bonus material here. But what we are is we're going to go down and convince him, or at least instruct him what to do with the rest of his life, because for a while he thought he was a ghoul and he had purpose, but now that purpose has once again been taken away. I got lazy. I just wanted to get through this level without really thinking. So who knows exactly what's going on? You can hear on the radio that people allegedly saw rockets taking off, but no one knows exactly where these guys are going to go land. I have a feeling that maybe they landed in like that zone in Fallout 4 where you can only really go in there unless you had a reinforced power armor or some shit like that, or suit of some kind. Oh. Huh. Shit, he's gone. Oh, shit. Fuck, he may have just been gone. We might actually see him just hanging around Novak. But anyway, this is the end of the episode. Like, subscribe, share if you haven't already. I would love to hear some comments about the game. You know, other missions you think I should play, things like that. Alright, YouTube. Catch you later.